Howdy, I thought we'd do a quick little sharpening lesson today. So we're going to do a plane blade. I sharpen my plane blades to approximately 30 degrees, although I don't measure it. I just do it by eye. And on this blade, it's a hawk blade. It's maybe, it's not an eighth of an inch, a little less than that. And I got a bevel on it that's just a hair under a quarter of an inch wide, so who knows. So here's how I go about it. Okay, so I do my grinds on a 10-inch wheel here. I got a white aluminum oxide wheel, and the reason I like doing this is because I get a very shallow concavity to the edge, and therefore it keeps it nice and strong. If you got a really small diameter wheel like a 6-inch, you can really doing a hollow grind makes a fairly weak grind. So the way I do it, it's a little closer to doing a flat grind. So I'll just fire it up, and the way I check the angle is I put my plane up against the wheel and I just rotate it by hand, and then I just look and see if I'm got little scratches right near the middle of the surface of the plane blade there, or the bevel. So that's not too bad. We'll do a little test grind and see how it looks, and I might adjust the wheel as we go, or adjust the base as we go. Okay, there we go. A nice clean grind. Only got a whisker of light showing on one corner. I'm not going to chase that out. Now on to the stone. Okay, I've got a 325 1200 combination stone, so I always start on the 325 side. And the reason I do that, and people are going to be screaming, the trolls are going to be screaming, but the work I do often is on abrasive woods. I use cedar a lot, and mahogany and oak and stuff like that, and I do a lot of repair work, so it's not uncommon to get little scratches and nicks on the backside of my blade. So I always go with a fairly coarse stone to start with, and I always lap both sides as I go. So now here's a trick. You wouldn't want to do this on water stones exactly, but it works great on diamond stones. I put my blade flat on the stone, tip it up till I feel my bevel, lock that in, and then I go in line with the stone and in line with the blade. I don't do circles. With diamond stone, it doesn't really matter too much. And all I want to do, I work my bevel until I raise a burr along the whole back edge. As soon as I've achieved that, I flip it over. And I work the back of my blade on that same stone, a coarse stone, until I've removed that burr. Done. Now I'm on the 1200 side. Again, find my bevel. Boom, I've got that burr already. Flip it over, do the back. When I'm doing the back, I work around the stone to help it wear evenly. But I don't worry about that when I'm doing my bevel. So that feels good. Now if I was on the job site, I would probably just grab a strop and knock the burr off with a strop. But I'm in the workshop, so I can take the time to make it a little nicer. So now I've got a 4000 grit water stone. And now I changed my approach a little bit, because you can't go in line like this because you'll wear a groove in your stone. I turned it, put it on an angle, and I sort of do circles a little bit, but not so much. But I work my way around the stone with the plane turned at an angle. And the reason I do this is because it's easier to keep from rocking this way when you've got it on an angle and you're working like that. Flip it over, do the back side. Again, this is my opportunity to work the whole surface of the stone to keep it flat. And now I switch to an 8,000 grit. I just keep a little squeeze bottle of water on hand for hosing things down, getting the crud off. Angle again. And I don't worry about doing too much here. The burr gets awfully small when you hit the 8,000. A little more aggressive on the back side with the 8,000 because I want to get that nice mirror finish back. But it's not absolutely necessary. Not for most general work. And I'll go back and forth just a couple times, like so. So that's done. Now before I put that away, I take my two stones here and I give them a little rub together. And that's just to help keep them flat. And I haven't really had to take these things to a larger stone for years by doing this. Every now and then I do, just to make sure everything's honky-dory, but boom, away with that one, away with that one. And then I dry off my blade and I grab a strop and I use green buffing compound on here. And I don't apply it every time, but once in a while. Like so. And it's not a bad idea to clean this off. Every now and then I use the side of my blade to scrape all the crud off the strop. And I just go like this. Put this guy on an angle and I just tip it up ever so slightly above the grinding angle. I go back and forth a few times. And then I test it on the back of my hand. And if I'm shaving cleanly, I'm good. If not, I'll hit it a little bit more on the strop. There might be still a bit of a burr that's hanging in there. Give it another taster. That's better. That's all there is to it. That's a pretty nice looking edge there. And it didn't take me long. Back to work.